right, Jaco Pastorius, T-Town. Let's talk about it. One of the most iconic Jaco Pastorius bass lines. So I want to just talk about it for a few minutes and basically go over the first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, first 12 bars of the piece and of this bass line and kind of explain what's going on with it. So the tune starts with a set of chords. Starts with C dominant, A dominant, F dominant, and D dominant. So it's kind of this 4-chord loop. And he's doing a crazy bass line over the top of it. So there's a lot that's happening in these first 12 bars. So the first chord you have is C. And what does Jaco play? He plays an octave. So he plays this octave and the 7th. The bass is out of tune. Let's switch basses. Don't do that, by the way. So he plays an octave. He plays... We'll see how this live stream goes. It's already a hot mess. We'll play on this bass. Is the first line we hear. Right? So the first chord is C7, C13 if you want to be specific. But, as the great Joe Pass said, chords are either major, minor, or dominant. I kind of agree with that. Augmented, diminished, those are kind of forms of dominant, or can be viewed that way. So that being said, so right there he outlines, and then he slides into the third. So he's literally outlining the first chord. Octave, the 7th, the 5th, the 3rd, and then there's a little interesting thing that happens at the end of the bar. A little anticipation, that's what you call anticipation. So he hits the C sharp before the next chord that comes up, which is an A7. And then he plays, so, but that's all good, but he hits that C sharp, a 16th note before the chord hits. It's called anticipation. So he's already anticipating the A7, and then follows that with, right? So there, he's playing an A, he's playing the 6th, and the 9 of the chord, right? So we're doing it in an unusual way. He's playing down as opposed to playing, up the scale. So he's not playing the upper extensions on the bass. He's playing it in a lower. So there's the anticipation. And over the A7, you have that. So you have the root, the 6th, and the 9. Next chord is an F dominant, and then he goes. Right? So then something interesting happens there too. So now he's sort of outlining the chord, but he's doing the flat 3 into the 3, which is always a cool jazzy effect. That's basically what he does in the beginning too. That note right there, sliding into the 3rd. So you have, and then so for the F chord, I'll slow it down. And that right there, if you play that slow, that's what he's outlining. So, and then anticipation again into the 3rd, which is the 3rd of the F chord. And then something, again, he's doing leading tones to the 9 of the next chord, which is D7. So right there is where it lands on the D7. So then he's playing the 9, the 6th, the 5th, and then he hammers the root twice. Badass line. So what gives this bass line its such unique quality is that he's doing just the roots. Right? So that would be the next set of chords. And then we're back onto the C13 again. Right, so there he's sliding into the third and the fifth, and then a 9 again. So that D over a C is a 9. So there's your C chord. He's playing a D over it. It has a different feel when you're playing it in the lower register. Next chord we have another A7 because it's a little 4-chord loop. Great line. I mean, kind of vibratos that C sharp. So again, sliding into the third. So B, C natural, C sharp is the third of the chord. So, and then root 6 again, fifth, and staying on the third. So he's doing this thing where he keeps going into the thirds. The only one where he didn't was on the D chord where he led into the 9. And then next chord, F7. Awesome. So he's just doing the 6th, the 5th, and the root. Again, we're kind of got this thing going. Great. Next chord, D, D7. He does, again, a lead into the root now. Now the next chord, so on the D chord, after that, so that is outlining the D chord. So we're leading to the D, and then the third of the chord, and the fifth of the chord. Pretty simple. So if you know your basic arpeggios, right? And the next chord, C7 again, because we're just looping these 4 chords over again. And then, so we have, I'll put it together, put the 2 chords together. So over the C7, he does something interesting. Doesn't play a natural third, he plays a flat third. And he gets away with it because he's Jaco, first off. It's happening fast, and it gives a bluesy feel. So if you have a dominant chord, you can oftentimes play a flat third. Even though you have a major third happening in the chords and the keyboard. So you have a major third happening, but he goes, gives them more of a bluesy feel. So putting those 2 chords together, the D to the C, awesome stuff. And then we're back to A again, and he goes, so, and that's over the F, but we'll stick on just the A7 now. So he stops there, but then he touches, so he goes A, B, C, C sharp, third of the chord, and then D, D sharp, E to the 5th of the chord, and then root, major 7, 7. So he's leading tones down to the 7th of the chord. And then the F7, so right there, he starts his line for the F7 on the 7th of the chord. So E flat, D, C, D, and D, D, C, F. And then the next chord up is a D, and he goes. So pretty simple. You got a D7 chord, he starts on the 5th, plays the 7th, and the D. And then at the end you have this, which is an anticipation for the C that's coming up. So now I'm not going to go into the rest of the bass line, but these opening 12 bars, so C7, anticipation, A7, F7, D7, C7, landing on the 9, and then A7, where he's also, again, playing the 9. So he's doing something similar to the first A chord, where he went, he does something similar. So he starts it on the B. And then the F7 again, back to D, to the root, to the 3rd, to the 5th, and then C7, flat 3rd, to the 6th, and he's playing the 6th over a dominant chord, which is already kind of a weird sound. So you you have that, and he's playing. So, A7 chord next. Again, sliding into the third if you were to play all those notes together. And then, that's cool. So those are the notes happening over the A7, which is root, flat third, third, leading tones to the fifth, leading tones going descending to the seventh, F7 starting on the seventh to the sixth. I guess you'd call it 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, right? I'm calling it a 6, 13, potato, potato at the end of the day. Any of these complex chords are just counting all the way up. Like you can say major 7, sharp 11. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, major 7, sharp 11. It's an F sharp. It's an F sharp. It's a tritone away from your root. I digress. Now, last chord, D7, and then anticipation to the root. So, together, without me talking, so I'll play it slowly. Oops. C7, A, F, D, C7, A7, F7, D. So one more time, C7, anticipation, A7, F7, and now leading to the D. It's all one continuous line. C7, emphasizing that 13. A7, F7, D, C7, and then anticipation to the root. So, great song. Jaco Pastorius, Teen Town, my little breakdown of the bass line that lasted 12 minutes and didn't start the way I wanted it to. But more of these live streams, more analysis coming soon. Hope you enjoyed. Peace, take care, and keep it up. Yeah. Peace. And I think my phone might have died.